What's
Yeah.
good, y'all? What's good, Real Talk Squad? This is Miles. You're listening to Real Talk of Miles Johnson, where I always keep it real. Here with my guy, Kobe Skills. Y'all know him,
Yes,
familiar
sir.
face on
Yes,
Real
sir.
Talk. But here we got some special guests, Andrew and Elijah Stewart, two guards at Morehouse College. Welcome to Real Talk.
Thank you for having us.
The show. Now y'all just came off, heartbreaking loss, to Miles. They end up, winning the SIAC, tournament, the chip. But go through it, talk to us through your, emotions right now. Season just over, and all that.
I feel like right now we can kind of just decompressing a little bit. It was a long season, a lot going on, coaching changes and stuff like that. Um, it's always tough losing to Miles though. We've been in this conference for technically we've been in here for 4 years, but playing for 3 years, and actually every year we make it to the Final Four and always lose. And our freshman year when we attended Clark, Atlanta, we lost to Miles in the Final Four. So kind of just not being able to get over the hump kind of has been tough for us. But it's been something we've been thinking about, just trying to get ready for next season and our next chapter.
Yeah, so we can get right into that actually. So Drew, you played one of your best games of the season against Miles. I think you had 29 or something like that the first game against
Yeah.
Miles. So what you know what I'm saying? If you can kind of take us through that last game and what you seen or what you didn't see the same, what adjustments they made specifically against you felt that didn't really, you know what I'm saying, allow you to get off the same way. What'd you see in that last game?
I feel like the main difference from the first time we played Miles and the last games, we had a completely different team. First semester, we had actually had a few guys out for eligibility reasons as well as injuries. So that game and that was our first conference game too. So I feel like the first game it was easier because it was our first time playing them. We both had a lot of experience playing in the conference. So the second time we played them, I didn't need to kind of do what I did the first time. But I feel like they did a great job of adjusting. Um, they were calling our plays out. We would call certain plays for the guards to get open. They did a very, very, very good job of scouting, and I just give them a lot of credit for for slowing us down for sure.
Now, how is this? Uh, your final year, at Morehouse. Like how is this like? How is this last year? Playing for the Maroon Tigers. This is really like the first, I would say, normal year because last year, yeah, y'all played, but it was still like COVID was definitely like affected. So how was this last year though?
It was fun for sure, kind of bittersweet. And then first off, I mean, we wanted to thank the great Grady Brewer for bringing us here, and he passed away. So just not getting that experience to play with him was always we always feel some type of way about that. But I felt like this year was a good year though. Coming into it, and we had high hopes for everything. And although we didn't win the championship, we still did a pretty good job. And we won back to back conference
Yeah.
championship. Although we didn't win the conference championship, we still had some good things on our team.
So
Yeah.
y'all definitely label yourselves brew kids, and it's all over y'all's Instagram. Whenever y'all talk about Coach Brew, y'all label yourselves brew kids. So can y'all kind of talk about that first season going to Clark, what happened, why y'all ended up going to Clark over Morehouse to begin with, and then how Coach Brew got y'all back into Morehouse where y'all was really supposed to be, how y'all got home.
For sure. So actually at our high school graduation, like, it was announced like that we're going to play basketball at Morehouse. We were 100% locked in on going to Morehouse out of high school. But as you all know, you know how stuff goes financially at Morehouse. So once it kind of got to and two full scholarships for the same household, that's a lot of money. So once it kind of got to that point, we all knew that the money situation wouldn't work out. So Coach Brewer called us and told us that we can go to any college in America as long as we don't go to Clark, and he's gonna do everything in his power to bring us. And actually, after that phone call, we had no school to go to. Like, we just were 100% locked in on Morehouse. But 30 minutes after that phone call, the old coach of Clark Atlanta, George Lynch, called us and told us he had some money for us, and we were able to come. Um, then actually we came
Off a joke.
off of a joke. because it's like our uncle named Brandon Banks. He still kind of is around with the Morehouse basketball program. His son Amir Banks actually is about to graduate from high school, and hopefully he's able to attend Morehouse and play basketball as well. But we called him on the phone once we came home from COVID. I think it was around March, like the first or second week of March.
He got fired.
Yeah. So our
this was 2020.
Yeah, our freshman year 2020. So we called him like as a joke, like, yeah, our coach got fired. Like, do y'all still have a jersey for us? And then he was like, give me 5 minutes, I'm gonna call y'all back. And when he called back, he actually said Coach Brewer had been recruiting us paying attention to us the whole year. We actually played Morehouse and we beat them by 30. So kind of after that, I guess he knew all along that even though we did attend Clark, he still wanted to bring us in. Within a couple months, we ended up going through the process of transferring.
Yeah, man. That's a great story. Just like, what Coach Brewer, meant to the program. Like, you can't even like pinpoint. It's just like his effect, like his impact was there and it's still gonna be there even afterwards. Always. Y'all talk about the difference in like culture and playing at Clark versus playing at Morehouse, because y'all got both sides of it, And I'll say, even as like a fan, I mean, look, that Clark gym is small, so you can pack it out more. The Morehouse gym is bigger, so like you might have a lot of people in there, but it's still not going to fit like at least everybody. I will say though, like them games, at least at Morehouse, them rivalry games, those are jumping. But I would say, like, how was like the culture like playing at Clark versus playing at Morehouse?
It's similar in some ways, but it's really different, obviously, because the gym being smaller. Kind of like every game is like a rival game at Clark when we played. I mean, that's probably due to the gym being smaller, but I mean, the fans were always into it. And they are at Morehouse at times, but y'all know how it goes. I mean, it's an arena, so it can seem like it's packed, but in reality, it's really not. But yeah. So I mean, in terms of the school spirit, I mean, I'll be honest. I'll say when we were at Clark, it was more school spirit towards the basketball. Even though I feel like the Morehouse basketball has been better since we've been here, talent-wise. But
Definitely.
I mean, I'll just be honest. I do feel like Clark does have more school spirit in terms of supporting the sports.
Yeah, when we started off our freshman year, we actually started off at Clark 0-8. It took us 9 games to win a game, and it was weird. After every game, more fans would come. So I feel like that's just the biggest thing that even when we were at Clark, we still knew that Morehouse team was more talented. I feel like every year is not even a question about which school necessarily has the more talent. It's just that we always knew, even from last year and this year, going to play at Clark, that's the toughest environment ever playing in. It doesn't matter if Clark is in first place and Morehouse is in last or reverse. That game is 0-0.
Same thing with football.
Every sport.
Yeah. Right. And so talking about y'all's journey to the AUC or whatever, growing up in Chicago, like how did that turn y'all into the young men that y'all are today? That dog mentality that y'all got, the intensity of the open runs that y'all had in Chicago. Can y'all speak a little bit to that? And how that formulated y'all's game a little bit and turned y'all into who y'all are?
Yeah, I feel like that was a big part in making us who we are today. We were raised in a 2-parent household, came from a good family and everything, so we kind of got shielded from the distractions from Chicago. But at the same time, it's always going to be there. So I feel like for us, my dad, my uncle, and everybody just stressed the importance of basketball to us, and that it's a lot of stuff that goes on off the court, but we just want to channel our energy to being tough on the court. That we don't always have to be tough or try to prove something off the court. We just try to take that mentality from what people do outside of basketball, and we try to put it onto the court. So I feel like that's giving us an advantage. It's 2 of us, again, from the same household. It's always tough for one person just to go play college basketball. But I feel like the mentality that we gained and the toughness that we got kind of got us to where we are now.
And I feel like to an extent, obviously y'all been at the games. Our toughness has kind of like got us into the situation. So we could be I know people probably label us hot heads, something like that, but it's really just
Passion for the game.
Yeah, passion for the game and everything. And just really early on, our parents instilling in us being tough and to handling our business and everything. And not just on the court, off the court, everything. So I feel like us going into that, we really take basketball as a job, not really as just something that's fun.
Yeah, I feel like as fans, as people that watch the game, we want, athletes to have that passion, wear that heart on their sleeve, like, talk, let the opposing team know it, what I'm saying? Let the other fans know it. Like that's what like brings like the fun out the game. So like the fans love that. And I want to ask with y'all, being twins too, that's very unique, right? To play, with your, twin brother. And for y'all both to not only play, but like play like significant minutes. Now it's not like okay, it's one that was playing, the others like riding the bench the whole time. Like both of y'all have like significant roles. Whether it was at Clark, whether it was at Morehouse. So just how is it playing with your twin brother?
Honestly, it's fun. But it's always two sides to it. Sometimes we may feel like, even though we both do play significant minutes, that one of us, and it honestly, it is what it is. Sometimes one of us may feel like that we're getting the short end of the stick. Like honestly, our freshman year, I started off hurt, so he was playing the minutes. He was playing like 35 minutes. It'd be times
I didn't have to practice.
He didn't have to come. He didn't have to practice. It was a couple of kids. We had like a short roster. We Morehouse were always 15, 16 deep, but at Clark we were only like 8 or 9 deep. So they would come to practice the starters. He wouldn't have to play, and then me being in the same household, I'm like, I know, what I'm saying. I know I can do the same thing as him, but it just wasn't my time yet. But honestly, it is fun. I know y'all saw the video where I think I threw it between my legs to him. Like
that was cool. I see that.
We've been doing that.
Yeah, like
I was about to say what most people don't know is like y'all really do that. Like, and I've seen y'all do that in multiple games. Like, it was cold in the video, but like that wasn't something that was new to y'all. Like y'all really do those things in game like multiple times over the course of a season. And it looks good on video. You know what I'm saying, when they capture it that one time. But most people, if you at the games, y'all do that a lot. So if y'all can keep going about that, yeah.
For sure. I feel like it's just natural instinct. I feel like especially with this year's team at Morehouse, we have other great guards, Ibn Williams, Christian Lamar. I mean a lot of other pieces. So I feel like by us playing together, you can't really scout. Like it's not really a scout. You can throw out there because we kind of just play off of each other. It's not any set thing that we do. So I feel like really just having an opportunity of playing with each other, it's been very fun and something that not a lot of people could say they play college basketball at all, but especially with their twin brother or somebody that lives in their household.
It's a blessing for sure.
Definitely. I want to ask y'all, be on the topic, the twins. This is real talk. We keep it real. Was y'all both injured, yo? Was y'all both injured? Give it a stat. Give us a scoop, man.
Yeah. So now
look, we could be ask you about this whole situation, and you can actually put this on there too. We're gonna keep.
Yeah, I want you to put it.
I want you to put this on there. It's a lot of stuff that people don't know about that we're about to tell y'all.
But
not too.
Yeah, we've been waiting on this one right here. We've been waiting on this.
The people AUC been waiting.
Like me and Miles specifically been plotting this right here. We've been waiting. Like I need this one right here. This one going right here. We need this.
I know if y'all read my Instagram farewell post, I put a little bit. You know what I'm saying, add a little bit about it now. But I'm the first one that got hurt. So you want to like talk about everything winter break?
Nah.
Like leading into it? Okay. Well, when we got back from winter break, cause we have knee problems. We always had bad knees. Tendonitis, I tore my meniscus when I was in high school. So we already, already had bad knees. But when we got back from winter break, we got some time to rest and some time off. And we felt perfectly fine going into like the next few games. And then some stuff that we did led up to us not being hurt, but just being sore. And then we played Central State at home, and I went up for a layup, and it was non-contact. And I messed my knee up, and then said it was tendonitis. So I sat out the first like 2-3 games, and then he ended up getting injured versus Benedict.
Yeah, and this is something that is actually funny. Our friends from high school were laughing once they saw it because I don't know what it is, but this has happened like 3 or 4 times our whole life. Like one of us would get hurt. Actually, this happened at Clark. One time, this is I think a couple games after we played Morehouse.
We played Benedict.
One of us got hurt. Now I twisted my ankle and like I had to like run off the floor and I went to the training room and then my brother subbed in for me. And then like I'm laying down for like 2 minutes and I look up and then he's hopping in the training room with the same exact injury I had. So this year, actually, we both did get hurt.
We tore our patella tendon.
Yeah, both partially tore something in our patella tendon. And the reason why we were sitting out for so long was because once we got injured, we thought it was just a normal, like, some stuff happens, you might bang your knee or something. We thought it was that, but it progressively got worse. And we went to the people that were supposed to be taking care of us and told them that, hey, like, we think this is something very, very serious. We need an MRI.
We're not stepping on the court.
And I don't feel comfortable because anything when I'm walking, jumping, anything, like I have pain that I couldn't describe at all. And it took them a month and a half for us to get an MRI. When
other kids on the team got hurt and it took them a day.
Yeah. Some other kids got hurt in practice and they got an X-ray. MRI.
So you feel like they thought y'all wasn't BSing basically.
Honestly, what I thought it was, I think in the very beginning that they knew, because y'all know, like, we from Chicago, we tough kids, we barely start at anything. Anything we need to participate in, we always do 100%. I feel like they knew that we were really hurt, and they didn't want us to go get an MRI because there's no other explanation for it. When we're coming to y'all every day, like, hey, like something is seriously wrong, I need to get checked out. And before we got the MRI, that was it was coming up the Howard game and the Clark game, the first game right after that. So, and of course I know how it looks. Oh, how the twins get hurt back to back? Both of y'all are hurt all of a sudden. That's also why we wanted the MRI so they could see, like, hey, like, we're not faking at all. Like, this is something serious. So we flew to Howard and we told them, like, we were contemplating about trying to attempt to play, but I knew, like, we had tried to go to the gym before. I couldn't even shoot a layup off my left leg.
And leading up, we didn't get any type of treatment. Like, they didn't even know what. Like, they didn't even ask us if we were okay the whole time injured. We were just, I mean, they said we could sit off, but they didn't come checking us, ask, like, what's wrong? Are you guys okay? Like, what's really wrong with y'all? Nobody really asked what's really wrong with us leading up to that.
So then we flew to DC. And again, Clark was the next game after that. And I think that they thought that
we're saving ourselves.
I guess we were saving ourselves for the Howard game. But then when we told them, like, hey, like, it's the same thing. Like, we kind of just been sitting around, no MRI, no real treatment. And I'm an athlete, but I don't know. Like, I don't know the best ways to get an injury healed, especially when I don't know what the injury is.
Yeah.
So actually, we were told by some people once we told them that we weren't playing that, oh, okay, y'all are just saving yourselves for the Clark game.
I wouldn't even brought y'all. Y'all shouldn't even came on this trip.
Basically, like, we shouldn't have came on the trip. We should have basically stayed away from the team. But basically, like, it's fine. No, we know y'all are playing versus Clark. We know y'all are saving yourselves versus Clark. So then when we tell them again, like, hey, I'm not playing versus Clark. I need an MRI. Y'all were at the game. I don't know if y'all saw. We actually were sitting in street clothes across the bench.
That was the follow-up question.
Yeah. So what happened with that? So we told them that we couldn't play and that we weren't playing, and they were like, okay.
Cool. We were still around in practice. Yeah. We were still talking to our teammates around. Yeah. It's not like we were just shut off from the team.
We still were acting like, I mean, just normal kids that were hurt. Like, we're just
and want to be with our teammates.
So we actually came to the game and they told us that, and this is the first time this has ever happened. Y'all have covered the games. Y'all see sometimes, like, even like at Georgia State and the other games we had, anybody that's hurt always sits on the bench.
Yeah.
Like, whether they in a jersey, street clothes, if you're a part of the team, you sit on the bench.
So we came to the game and all of a sudden they told us, if you're injured, you can't sit on the bench at all. And this is when we walk in, like, I think we played at maybe 1:00. This is when we get to the gym at like 11:30. We can't sit on the bench. So we're like, okay, like we trying to still focus on getting our teammates ready for the game. And then they were like something about sitting behind the bench, but right behind the bench. The two things: one, I couldn't see the game, so I wouldn't have been able to see what was going on. And two, it was already filled for people like family, whoever was already filled. So we then tried to go sit on the side, kind of like behind the bench by the trainer, and they told us, other people in the athletic department told us that we had to move. So now we try to go sit behind the cheerleaders, and they came and told us that we can't sit behind the cheerleaders.
The game is going on. We're arguing with people.
This is when if you go back and watch the game, I don't know if they have it on something, and you can see going towards our bench, like we're literally like
arguing, like
going back and forth with people in the school trying to find a seat. So the only seat that we were able to have was across the floor, and you can see too sometimes like certain timeouts we had to walk around the court just to go get some input, and we want to be on the bench obviously to be with our team, but we're trying to win too, especially Clark, the rivalry game. Like we were kind of trying to take the role of like we've been here for 3-4 years, we're trying to kind of not necessarily coach, but we have some knowledge, especially when it comes to Clark, that we can give. So we kind of felt that we would honestly cast it away from the team, and this is all before we even got an MRI. So nobody even knows what really is going on.
What's really going on?
Yeah. So we felt like we were cast away from the team, stuff like that. And then actually after that, I think we had we had like 5 or 6 road games, and
couldn't travel.
This is the first time this has ever happened too. They told us that now all injured people can't travel
until they get back healthy.
And
was it like that before? Like, because I'm pretty sure I seen like some people that was injured that was not only traveling but was on the bench.
Yeah, for sure.
It seemed like ever since.
And actually, it's funny because one of the away games after he got hurt, he traveled that next game with another player. So that's why we were kind of taken by surprise, like what's really going on right now, like why is this happening? But we still ended up winning the games, and nothing was ever said directly to us, but I just heard by some people in the athletic department that we were faking. They say out their mouth that we're faking flat out. There's no way that both of us can get hurt like that. And somebody said also too that they feel like if we're away from the team, that'll, I guess, force us to come back faster.
Force us to come back. They said that they're better off without us.
Come on now.
And this is people these are not any players. This is no players at all. These is all you can guess what I'm getting. People around the program. So
and they said we all basically replaceable.
Basically
if we're damaged goods, we're replaceable.
Basically like we're damaged goods. So like it's like kind of try to throw us to the side. Then we actually had to go and get our own like physical therapists in Alpharetta, Georgia. So we had to drive. We used to wake up at 6 a.m, drive out, go back, go to class, go to sleep, do our own rehab. So even when we did come back and we did start playing, we should not have played at all. Like we were recommended by multiple doctors from back home and other places that we should not be playing. But we came back and played, obviously, for the love of the game, for our teammates and Coach Brewer. But with that situation, we were 100% hurt. We still are hurt. We
had to get surgery.
Yeah. So we gotta
definitely get surgery.
Yeah. After spring break, we gotta enjoy spring break.
No, you got to.
Of course.
Yeah, have a couple of days to relax and kind of have fun. But as soon as that's over with, we're going. We're probably gonna fly home and get something done.
So like when y'all came back, it was a shift because before y'all got injured, it was Coach Witt, his last game of coaching this season was against Clark, that first time, that home game. When y'all come back, it's Harold Clay, assistant head coach, moved to interim head coach. So how was it playing under Coach Clay? I know like every all the interviews that we've had, y'all would rave about Coach Clay, how he has showing like great poise. That's what like a lot of like, whether it was Ibn, whether it was Christian Lamar, like Kerry, like y'all all talked about like the poise like Clay has, even though like he's only like 27 years old, like he only like 5 years, maybe 6 years older than us, just graduated Morehouse in 2017. So how was it, like playing for him? But talk about that shift too, from playing to Coach Witt to coming back from injury to playing for Coach Clay?
It was really good. And I feel like Coach Clay got his poise from being under Coach Brew and just seeing how Coach Brew handled things and everything. So I feel like even still some things, even though he is a young coach, he still implemented some of those things that Coach Brew did. And in terms of the shift, I feel like it definitely started with him, with Coach Clay. Even in practice, he's more of like a player's coach, and he actually cares about everybody in the team and the players. So I feel like it was more so with him being at the forefront, like people actually wanted to play for him. So I feel like it went hand in hand, like with his coaching and us as players wanting to play for him, and him setting stuff up for us to be successful. I feel like that's what.
Yeah. I feel like Coach Clay did a very, very good job. Again, like Eli said, I feel like the main shift was that people really, really, really wanted to play for him, and not only wanted to win just for our own success, but once we saw Clay, and we know stuff behind the scenes that we all go through stuff. We went through stuff with our injury. Coaches go through things. So we kind of know some stuff that Coach Clay has been through, and by us seeing that, it kind of gave us that extra motivation to really, really want to win, especially for him. And I could say for us specifically, us two, that he honestly is a big, big reason why we did come back and play even through injury. I think I forgot which game it was that we came and sat on the bench. They were telling him that basically that they don't want us on the bench. They were even telling him when we came back not to play us. Like, don't play us at all. And he came to us, we had private conversations with him. And he told us he would check in. He was the first and only coach or member of the athletic program since we got hurt. We had been hurt for 2 months now to even reach out to say, hey, how y'all doing? So by him just showing that he actually cares, that made us come back also to and play because we knew that we were playing under somebody that really, really wanted us and cared about our health.
And still held us accountable.
Yeah, still held us accountable. Didn't let us slide with anything, even when we had our own rehab. He was texting us, make sure we were going to rehab, working out some stuff. So really, really him just showing he cared and putting forth the effort as the coach. We kind of just followed in his lead.
Would y'all say playing under Coach Clay was the turning point in the season?
100%. 100%. Because before that, I'm not sure what our record was, but I know it wasn't.
It was like wasn't 7-8, I believe.
Yeah, we won like 10 games in a row, 11 games.
Yeah, I think we're below 500 a game. Yeah, a game under 500. And I don't think it's not 100% because of that. I feel like as a team that as the longer we get, this happens every year in Morehouse. Even when we were at Clark with Morehouse. Morehouse always hits their stride, kind of like coming to like second semester, like
18 in a row.
Around like last year, 18 in a row.
We started 3-6.
I think it's kind of like it's just something about that point of period of time where Morehouse kind of just picks it up. So I think it was a combination of Clay, but also it's a testament to our team that we did a very, very good job of coming together. I feel like once the coaching change happened, that forced us as a team to become closer. So I feel like just that multiple things with that kind of helped us go on a different path.
How did the
oh no, you go,
go ahead. All right,
go, bro.
How did the team? You talking about the turning point as a team? Y'all having to come closer. How did the team react to Coach Witt going in his situation, having to step away for a second? How did the team react to that?
I would say we were very, very surprised about what happened because when right after the Clark game, we would kind of sit in the locker room. He didn't come right back, so nobody had an idea of what happened. So kind of we came in the huddle and then we kind of just left. Yeah, I would just say surprise. That's what I would say. Surprise.
So, are there any guys you talked about? Eben talked about Christian Lamar. Like, who are those guys that was like held down that ship? When y'all was below 500 to believe go 11-1. With Coach Clay. Some guys that really like was like like not mentors isn't the right word, but I guess leaders in that team that especially when y'all was down to help carry the load.
Oh, for sure to an extent, I feel like everybody played a role in that. But to be specific, I would say Ibn and Carey, in fact, for sure. And Buka. Even though Buka was in and out with injuries too. And I feel like just because we all had experience, we've been playing in this league, so they kind of know what it takes, and especially going into that next semester and that next 10, 11
Mm-hmm.
game stretch, they already know what needs to be done to be successful. So I feel like with their guidance and them mentoring us, mentoring the team, it helped out.
Yeah,
For sure.
I would for sure all those guys, and also our coach, he actually got fired in the middle of the year, but our coach Andre Brown, I feel like he was a big part too. You guys may not know who he is. He really wasn't around. He got fired, but he still came.
Should have been around more.
Yeah, he
But
should have been around, but some stuff,
Mm-hmm.
some grown man business, some stuff happened.
Yeah.
But he played a big part coming in after I was training, specifically Ibn Williams and Kerry. Um, yeah, I feel like he gave us a lot of advice even when we were hurt. Booker was hurt. Booker also, I don't know if you guys know, was playing on a chipped and torn knee. So he kind of was in the he kind of was in the same situation as us, but he actually had a much more severe injury than we did.
and was pushed to the side as well.
Yeah, he was also kind of lumped into some stuff that happened, but he did a very, very good job though of keeping his composure, fighting through his injuries. Same thing with Clay. Clay was on him, helping him, but also holding him accountable. But
Mm-hmm.
I feel like in terms of holding the ship specifically, I would really everybody played a big part, but really Ibn and Kerry.
Yeah. I feel like uh it was like the uh perfect way to like end like the regular season when you have a guy like Ibn who, was really like, holding it down to be able to get a first of all, it was a tremendous pass across the court. I was like, sheesh,
I thought he was going to
tremendous
shoot.
pass. And you just
Yeah.
knew, like it was
Just knew he was about to pull that.
perfect on senior night. Like that was just it was too perfect. That was too perfect. But I keep hearing that because the same thing happened with football because like with terms like the injuries and like uh like the safety of the players because was it senior, well, not senior night, was it, I think it was the game against Clark, like the last game of the season, and the freshman quarterback he broke his leg, and then they took like 30 minutes for the
Bring the
ref, but
ambulance.
I don't know if it was Grady, I don't know who it was, but you gotta have somebody on site so if something goes left. So that's something that I've seen with not just in basketball too. So I know we talk about I've been a big proponent of I want you know you know top recruits, athletes to look at HBCUs, but HBCUs they have to like clean up their act so that when like these top recruits come here and they aren't you know looked at as you lying about an injury or stuff about like like stuff like this, and that's not gonna happen. I won't say it's not gonna happen, but it's a high possibility it's not gonna happen at a PWI. But some stuff like this got to get cleaned up at HBCUs. However, on a good note, I want to ask, Andrew, is how did it feel to get that buzzer beater shot, against Faithful State during the HBCU All-Star Challenge? I was there. I believe Kobe was there as well.
Of course.
Y'all was down. I believe y'all was down. It was down one, down two. And got that corner three fade away. Just you dream of stuff like that when as a child, at the court, the park, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, swish, all that. So how was it, to sink that shot?
Actually, Eli hit the shot. I got the pass.
Yo,
That's right. That's right.
Now a lot of people got it mixed up. A lot of people didn't know. But I actually got the steal, and I threw it to him in the corner, and I got the block.
Same thing. One
Yes,
of his.
I was about to say,
and
the block on the
yeah.
other end. The block
Elijah,
on the other end. Y'all
us.
can both speak to it.
Yeah.
But for me, honestly, that's what we work on, and that's a testament to Coach Andre Brown. That's the type of thing.
The same thing, even with that same pass, that's actually a drill that we worked on. And we actually worked on it 2 days before that game. So,
when I had starting off from the game, we started off real slow. We actually started off down, and then we gained. That's how we always do sometimes. We start off slow and just pick it back up.
Yeah.
But in terms of that last play, I don't remember who the play was for. It wasn't even like that wasn't supposed to happen, just a scramble. But even when Andrew got the steal, like it was the second nature. He didn't even have to fully look at me. He always there and tossing the ball. I caught it and I had my feet set and I knew it was going there. So, and that's really a testament to what we work on, and we work on those type of shots all the time. So it really is the second nature when I caught the ball.
Yeah. I would say honestly, and it's funny because I laugh about it with both of them. I actually want to shoot it on both of them. You know how it is. Like you get the ball, like 5-second shot. I wanted to shoot it, but once I looked up and saw the time, for the pass to Eli and Ibn, I didn't even have to look. Like I knew it was them, but I didn't even fully look. I saw kind of their uniform, and I saw Ibn his headband, and I knew like, nah, it's not even. It would be the same thing for any player on the team, but specifically, it's different when again you grew up with somebody and us and Ibn are real close. We're like brothers too. Blood can make us closer. So it was kind of everything was just like it was just flowing second nature.
And so could you speak a little bit more to that? Like as the shooter, both of y'all shooters really, but as a shooter, like and you grow up wanting to take those shots, you know what I'm saying? And I think in both situations, being at those games, I'm just looking at you like, oh yeah, I know he about to pull it. Like in my head is no, you know what I'm saying? As shooters, you know what I'm saying, and the green light that y'all have, how did it feel to be able to make those passes as somebody who's often not looked at as a pass first type of guy? You know, y'all two both are actually often looked at, you know what I'm saying, as shooters. You know, sometimes it's say, you know, when y'all come down the court, if one of y'all touch it, it's going up. You know what I'm saying? We might as well go ahead and run back down. But to make those passes, like, you know what I'm saying, how did it feel to be able to make those passes and know, like, you know what I'm saying, I made the right basketball play rather than just the right play for myself or what most people would have thought would have been the right play for the team. As players, how did it feel to make those passes? You know what I'm saying? Just making the right basketball play.
It felt very good. And actually, growing up, our dad taught us how to play basketball, so we understood at a young age. Like y'all come to the games, we don't jump, we don't have a 40-inch vertical or anything like that. We kind of just have a lot of basketball knowledge and skill that we were taught since a young age. So it's funny. I'm actually really more of a point guard. It's just I feel like you know how it is year to year with different teams. Your role changes. So I feel like this year I kind of had to adapt into being more of a shooter because last year our junior year last year, y'all know we were 15 deep. It didn't matter. There were games that both of us could score 0 points and we still might win about 15 points. But I feel like this year we had especially being technically the seniors on the team, that we had to take on more of a scoring role. But that pass and plays like that is something that we've kind of been taught how to do for a long time. But it really, really did feel good that, especially knowing that we're looked at as more of scores, especially on senior night too. Like that's what you dream of. Senior night, you got the ball with the time running down the top of the key, and you would think like even say he thought I was going to shoot it. But I feel like that's why everything was so perfect. That I can make that play, but that just goes to show that everything is a team game. It's not just the twins show or the twins and Ibn and Carey. I feel like it's a full team effort, and that everybody plays a part into winning.
Yeah, I feel like y'all have a very like well balanced team. Like everybody knows the role. Like a guy like Christian Lamar, like he's gonna take on that defensive assignment. And whether it's steals, whether it's blocks, whether it's just taking charges, whatever. Like he's that utility guy that's really gonna do whatever needs to be done. Like Carey, he's a scorer. And he's shown especially against Miles too. Like those last free throws I was watching on ESPN Plus, like that was clutch. You miss one of them, like it's over. It's over. So y'all definitely like everybody like knows they role. And it was great to see that even like being starting off slow in the season, having that coaching change, to still throughout all that adversity, through being injured as well, to still or against Lane College, in the quarterfinals, and you put up 4 threes, right? So like y'all really was like really battling through adversity. Want to ask y'all, what was some of y'all like biggest influences in basketball? Like these could be like people in the NBA, maybe in the city of Chicago, somebody that you looked up to, like your neighborhood. But what were some of y'all biggest influences in basketball, growing up?
I would start off first, probably our dad, probably our biggest influence. And growing up, he worked for the Chicago Bulls. So we already, on top of him being a basketball player, he's a Division I athlete. Like we already been groomed into basketball, and we're around it every day, whether we like it or not. He didn't force us to play, but we were forced to be around it. Whether that was his profession. So I thought just starting off early, just us being around the game and us seeing it on a professional level with the Bulls. It kind of made us fall in love with the game, and he was basically our mentor and our coach up until we came to college, our senior year of high school. So just being under him and like learning everything from him. I know it's kind of it goes hand in hand being the coach and the dad at the same time. So we did have some issues, if it's your dad coaching, he can coach you a little different than the regular coach. But I feel like that was more of a positive for us too because it taught us how to have tough skin. And if you could be coached by your dad, you could be coached by anybody. So.
Yeah, I would definitely agree to that. We used to go to our dad. Our dad used to play in like a men's league when we were younger. And we actually used to go to his games and draw up like their plays for the team. So we used to be like 6 years old, 7 years old, coming to his games, drawing up plays. And like I said earlier, stuff like that helped our basketball IQ and things like that. Also, again, playing for your dad, he could, he has the authority to grab you up a little bit or something like that, talk to you a little different. I feel like that helped, especially coming into college, that it's not anything that anybody on this earth could say to me as a coach that my dad didn't say to me. But I feel like just building off that, besides our dad too, we actually had a big brother named Saeed Ivy, and he died a few years ago. He was like our mentor. We were in like grammar school. He was in high school. He went to Simeon High School where Derrick Rose, Jabari Parker went. And he died when he went to California for junior college. And I feel like that was a big turning point with us, that we looked at basketball in a different way. We always knew growing up in Chicago that stuff could happen, but when that happened to him in a whole different state in California, we saw that basketball is not only going to save us from Chicago, but it could save us out in the real world. And then another one of our friends who played high school basketball with, Tyler Pearson, he actually died too once he got done playing basketball. So I feel like those two people were real turning points for us, that not like basketball is a job. Like this is not just something that
save our life.
Yeah, not something that's fun or something that for us personally. Like, it's cool. Like for certain people, it's a hobby or something to do. But this is a real, we really say that it's really, really changed our life for real.
What age did y'all start playing ball?
We technically, our mom, they say we started playing when we were like 3-4 years old. That's the first time we started like shooting to the basketball. But we've been playing organized basketball for as long as I can remember.
And we always played together.
Always. Yeah, always.
Did y'all
split up?
Did y'all play any other sports than basketball?
We did. We played soccer and baseball, and baseball was actually our main sport.
We better at baseball. Yeah. We're better at baseball than basketball.
Now, I don't know about now. Now it's been a nice little minute, but we used to take summers off of basketball. Like I forgot what how old we were,
like sixth or seventh grade.
Yeah, like 6th, 7th grade, we started taking summers off. Like it would be a time that we wouldn't touch a basketball for a year and a half because we were playing baseball. But once it got to that, y'all know how it is, like 7th, 8th grade, going freshman year, like that's kind of the breaking point of you got to choose kind of what your main sport is going to be. Yeah, and we also had a little reality check. Like we were good. We were good. We thought we were a little better. We were good, but we thought we were a little bit better at baseball than we really were. So we played against Jackie Robinson, JRW, the base out of Chicago, and our last time ever playing baseball, he got thrown out at home plate, and we lost like 25-3. So after that, we were like, yeah, we can't be 1 foot in, 1 foot out. We got to just pick something to go with it. So we chose basketball.
For sure. Well, man, we so greatly appreciate y'all coming and chopping it up with us, man. So we got one last question. You know what I'm saying? Y'all been in the AUC about 4 years. Y'all still got 1 year eligibility though. Y'all still got 1 year, right? Y'all still got 1 year?
Yeah, we got 1 year.
Yeah. So I'm assuming y'all gotta leave Morehouse. I'm assuming y'all not going.
We'll graduate. We graduating in May, so we gotta go.
Yeah. And y'all, I'm assuming y'all not going back to Clark. Maybe y'all are. Can y'all give us some insight on where y'all going for y'all 1 year?
Honestly, I could say that we have fell in love with the city of Atlanta. We have a lot of family down here. A lot of people down here that we look at this as more of home compared to Chicago, actually.
Mm.
So we don't want to leave Atlanta at all, but we can go to any school with a graduate program.
If it is depending on, if it's the right opportunity, then
yeah, any place with the right opportunity where, again, we always want to stay together. So hopefully we can play together. We can. It's also about school too, because we're not going just, some guys go play for the 1 year and then leave. We actually plan on, even after the year, still going back to school and finishing up. Just the right opportunity and for free. So wherever that happens.
Yeah, and we just got in the transfer portal recently, so we haven't even really started kind of like thinking about that right now. We kind of still decompressing the season. So after a while we will, but as of right now we really haven't.
Y'all will know first though before it's announced.
We appreciate that. But so we can expect to see y'all on the court again though.
Oh yeah, 100%. 100%.
All right, bet. All right, bet. We're gonna be there covering them games too.
Definitely.
Oh yeah, for sure. I really appreciate y'all. It's long overdue, but we got some great snippets and all that, great content. So those y'all watching, we're gonna have this on YouTube. Gonna have some, reels and TikToks, little clips from the episode. So be tuning in for that. This is Miles Johnson, Real Talk with MJ. Here with my boy Kobe Scales and Andrew and Elijah Stewart. Thank y'all so much for y'all time.
Thank y'all for having us.
Yes, sir. We out.